So most of us have been here in this space before. You're out with somebody, you're having a great time, things are going well, or maybe even it's not that great of a time. Things are starting to happen, maybe some clothes are coming off, you know the sex is about to happen, and you're on board with it. But there are other parts of you that are not on board.
Oh, no, you don't. No, not going there with that one. He kind of nasty. You ain't letting that in here. No, I'm out of here. I'm going to the bar. I'm going to the club. I'll see you.
Oh, let's get this straight.
You mean to tell me that you woke me up for that? Oh, I don't think so, bro. You lost your mind. I'm going back to bed. Uh-uh.
Solid truth drop here, folks. Your cock and your pussy, they have an intelligence all their own. And they are often talking to you. And often we don't listen. We want what we want, they want what they want. And when we're not listening, we win over. But it doesn't change the fact that your genitals are still maybe kind of pissed at you. And so things can start to happen. Things can start to shut down or you get desensitized. Well, here's the truth. A lot of times when we are dating, getting to know people, things like that, we want connection. We're hardwired for connection. And often we can quickly move into sex thinking that that's the connection we are wanting when often it might not be. And your pussy or your cock may be trying to tell you that, but instead you kind of commit a form of rape against yourself because you're on board saying, no, we're doing this. We're doing this, like it or not. You're doing this. Want to know how I know? Because I've done it to myself before. And many of you know that I have started on this whole thing for an undetermined amount of time. But self love, just really caring for and dating myself. I'm not just dating myself, though, I am pursuing myself, loving myself like I would want a partner that I was just enamored with to pursue and love me. And so I want to share a little practice that I did. I recently, there's a guy I used to date, and he's been in the country for a little bit. So we decided we'd get together. And he's a great cook. So he's like, I'll make you dinner. And we usually drink some wine because he's a wine guy too. He always has really good wine. But I love his company, and we are just friends. But I knew that because we have history and there's a genuine connection there, physically, emotionally, all of that, that I wanted to stay true to myself and my inner child, the commitment I made to myself in this process of loving myself and just dating me for a while. So I got clear before I went, sat down, journaled about how exactly, if you could choose exactly how you want this whole entire evening to go, what would that look like? And I wrote it all out. And pretty much that is exactly how the evening went. I'm not saying this is always going to happen exactly like you want it to go, but even beyond how I wanted it to go, in that it was very nourishing and nurturing for me. Oh my gosh. There was no sex. We had a lovely dinner. We watched a movie. We sang. We drank wine. Really good wine. Probably too much, which could have made it easier for me to compromise. And a couple of times it entered my mind. But because I had made that commitment prior, I was not gonna drag my inner child and my pussy into something that they didn't want to do. And it had nothing to do with this guy. He's a wonderful guy. It had everything to do with the commitment I made to myself. And that I wanted to be honored and taken care of and allow myself to just be nurtured and treated really nice without ever having that other factor enter my mind. And so we had a great time. And it occurred to me that that is a great process for me to do in general in so many different ways. Like, it doesn't even have, it could be a job interview or something where you're really getting clear. What do you how do you want the evening to go, especially in dating? Because it can be very, things happen. We want that connection. We're hardwired for connection. But sometimes it is much more vulnerable and sweet and precious to let yourself be seen in conversation or just in being goofy and enjoying a fun time together. Rather than the sex, we can go quickly to that almost because it's like, well, we don't know what else to do. And there's lots of disconnected sex happening out there. And there's no judgment around that. Many of us have done that. And, sometimes that can be kind of fun. But if that's all that's going on, you might want to look at what is it that you're really wanting? What kind of connection do you really want to have with people? So clarity is everything. Get in there and engage. Have a conversation with your cock, with your pussy, and find out what they're wanting. Is it in alignment with what you're wanting? Have conversations with those parts of you. And I realize sometimes the opposite could be true. It could be that there's a flip to that sometimes our junk, is so much more on board than the rest of us. They're like, yeah, let's do this. We're feeling it. And there's a part of you that knows I'm not going to feel good after this. Or I know this person doesn't care about me. I care about them. Whatever the scenario might be. Or, and that part of you is on board. And not to say that there aren't times when, again, this isn't about judgment or right or wrong. It's, are you having a conversation? Are you connected with these very important parts of you that do have their own level of intelligence? And they're quite smart. And they have a lot to say if you will take the time to listen. So tune in, listen, have conversations, get on the same page with your goodies. Because when you do that, you are more rooted in your own choices. And when you know that you are basing something off of your full choice, that is freedom. When it is your choice, your preference, your desire, that is freedom. Many times we're not even connected with what we want. And when we don't know what we want, how can we make a choice that is for us? So, again, have those beautiful conversations. Check in with pussy. Check in with penis. And enjoy. She's right,
We have feelings too. We have a lot to say. We want to be talked to. We can be really sensitive sometimes. So talk to us. Hey, does anybody want to watch The Notebook? Anybody? Anybody?